is what's going on. And again, I am sympathetic to people who don't have a lot of money. I understand all that. But I can't sit here and lie to you and live through the perspective of a retired person that goes to Walmart for everything, because that's not the life I live. I'm giving you the perspective of a guy that makes a very decent amount of money running a business. And my entire summer is booked with work, guys. This is I'm too busy to worry about gas prices. I have so many jobs to get done by Labor Day that I'm committed to. On top of renovating a bathroom in my own house that I've got to do nights and weeks. I don't have time to go on Gas Buddy and say, oh, I'll save 8 cents if I drive fucking 7 miles up the road. Like, that's how men and women my age, we should be too busy to worry about this stuff. We should be productive U.S. citizens, building our fortune, raising our families, and living hopefully a productive, debt-free life. That's where I'm at right now. I'm too busy to worry about gas right now, guys. Does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. But I mean, I don't like wake up every morning lamenting it. And those of you that are, you need to either get a part-time job or get a girlfriend or get a life. I spent the first half, you're on deck, buddy. I spent the first half an hour of this conversation talking about California. Guys, I realize if you don't live there, you don't give a fuck. But here's a little perspective. Again, adult conversation. What we're paying now in most of the states is what California pays in the best of times. Okay, talk to our friend Summer. She's about to move back to Southern California after living in Texas for a long time. People are, this is not new, guys. You live in California, you live in New York, you're paying $4 a gallon for gas in the best of times when crude oil is like $70, $60 a barrel. Because that's, again, but people are getting education here, aren't they? Everybody thinks their gas price went up because of Iran. I sat down, I went on AI, I figured out how a gallon of gas is priced out, and I gave you the breakdown. Many of you are paying very, very high state level gasoline tax. Intra meaning inside the state, intra-state gas tax. Indiana pays, for a deep red state, Indiana pays like 50 cents of every gallon in Indiana is basically just the state tax in that state for gasoline. Alaska's got the lowest of the red states. Most of the red states are in the middle. Then there's a federal about 12 to 15 cents of every gallon is the federal gasoline tax, which I think Trump is going to do away with for the month of July. That'll help a little bit. And then you've got this ridiculous, I call it the terror tax. Terror is in terrorism, which is exactly what the Strait of Hormuz is. So I would say basically 30 cents of every gallon you're paying right now is because of Iran. It has nothing to do with all the other shit. The least amount you pay, guys, is the drilling and refining fee. That's actually quite low because in the United States, we have a lot of domestic oil that gets, broken down into gasoline and diesel, et cetera. So, okay, let me go to threat and then you guys could talk about it. Again, I don't want you to, before I go to threat, I don't want you guys to just blow off gas prices. But I mean, I'm just giving you my perspective, guys. I don't have the time or the appetite or the patience to hear about people's, I don't call you and say, oh my God, my electric bill was $400 this month. I don't want to hear about your personal financial problems. And I want you to be sympathetic to poor people in this country. But, if I could do one thing for you guys, I want you to understand you're not paying $4.50 a gallon of gas, and $2 of that is because Trump allegedly attacked Iran because of Israel. That's not why the goddamn gas is $4.50. Nobody wants to take the time. None of these not Diligent, not Hitch Slap, none of these big shots who run spaces know any of this stuff, and they're not going to tell you because it's not convenient to the bullshit they're trying to tell all you. So if you're pissed about Trump attacking Iran, then be pissed at him for 30 cents a gallon. not $2. You know, at least be honest with yourself if you want to lie to your relatives and say Trump is an Israeli puppet. Go ahead, Fred. Thanks for waiting, buddy.
You bet. Good morning, everyone. Just I mean, the results in the California elections. It's like, hello, Captain Obvious. Did anybody even think that there was a remote chance of there not being voter fraud and cheating, and the Democrats, stealing their power again? And I guess it's a bit of a foreshadow, probably, of what's going to come in November, where Democrats have, control over the apparatus, like in states like California. I mean, and it just highlights the absolute frustration and disgust that I have in our Senate with them not passing the Save America Act last night. Like, what a way to just absolutely stick your middle finger right up America's ass, right? I mean, these people are disgusting, but it highlights once again the importance of, us voters, us people who are, in tune and pay attention of how much we have to get involved, because those are 4 people that need to get primaried, once they're in that in the primary season for their particular offices. So, man, people, we gotta stay active and get even more active, because we got to clean up the Republican Party. There's still too many lying, cheating, stealing bastards in it, and they shoved their middle finger right up our ass again last night. So that's all I wanted to say. Just to, get active, stay active, get involved in your local precincts and local party, and never let up pressure on these guys, even the good ones. Keep pressure on them, so that they continue to fight hard, and they don't let up. Sometimes some people can be a little nasty even towards the good ones, but I you know what? I think they need it. They need a reality check every now and then to, they need to feel that pressure so that they keep fighting as hard as possible, and don't allow the Washington party scene and the attractions of all that power to soften them up. Right? We got to keep them honest, and that's all. I'll leave it there. Thanks,
buddy. Absolutely. And here's the other. Here's some more. Here's another pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, guys. Even if the Republicans hold the Senate in the fall, we're still, whether it's Boone or Rick Scott or whomever is the Republican leader, when the caucus resumes in the next Congress after the election, we're still going to be right back to square one with nuking the filibuster, because the Save America Act needs 60 votes to pass cleanly in the Senate. We're not even going to, we're going to be lucky to have 54 or 55 Republicans. And we're still going to have Susan Collins. I'm going to get to her in a second, actually. I want to talk about her. Remind me if I forget. Susan Collins of Maine, if she wins re-election, I think she will. I'll get to that. Lisa Murkowski in Alaska is not going to vote for the Save America Act. So Rand Paul did, surprisingly. So we're going to have probably 51 or 52 Republican votes. So Rick Scott, I'm assuming Thune is not going to stay in power. I mean, he lost Cornyn. He's going to get a lack of confidence conversation with Trump. So he'll still be the senior senator from South Dakota, but I don't foresee him. I mean, he's completely neutered now. He's lost Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, and fucking Cornyn. I mean, what's the point? That can't be enjoyable for him in the first place. So what I'm saying is, just let's assume it's Rick Scott of Florida would be everybody's choice, I think, to be Republican leader. He's still going to have to nuke the filibuster to get 50 votes, and then J.D. Vance will break the tie. Because like I said, if Susan Collins gets elected for another 6 years, she's going to be completely emboldened. She's not fucking voting for the Save America, and she's not going to lose anything at that point. So yeah, you could forget Alaska and Maine's help in the Save America Act. Unbelievable, because Alaska is such a Trump state. Northern Maine, again, in the presidential, Maine is the and Nebraska are split up. Trump is wins the electoral votes in Northern Maine, which is very conservative, very red, very MAGA. I know this area very, very well. It's the state north of me. Southern Maine is very Democratic, very blue, which Kamala won, Biden won, Hillary won. So that's egregious right there. That half of Maine and all of Alaska is as red can get. And their senators will not do a goddamn thing for election integrity, which is I would say, after the one big beautiful bill, the centerpiece of Trump's legacy is voter ID, mandated nationally. He'll get it, but it's going to be ugly. And we should not have had to go through all this, guys. This is ridiculous. Okay, Susan Collins. So I am not from Maine, but I grew up just 5 miles south of Maine. So I still spend a lot of time there, obviously. I am closer to Portland, Maine, which is, the centerpiece city in the state, than I am to Concord, New Hampshire, which is the capital of my state. Okay, I could be in Portland, Maine, in 45 minutes from my house. It takes a little over an hour, maybe an hour and change to get to Concord, okay, which is our capital. So I'm very familiar with this state. Their politics intersect with ours, just like Massachusetts does to the south. So, New England, we're small states. We interact with each other. You could go through 6 states in one day of driving around here in a loop. So Susan Collins, guys, is the Lindsey Graham of the North. Okay, she's probably the only Republican that could get elected statewide in Maine, and she has been there for, Jesus, since 1997. She first got elected to the Senate.
I think we lost him.
He may be getting a phone call. Well, I chose to speak because he was talking about California. I'm in California, Los Angeles County, not the city, but the county. And about the gas prices, it's up to $6 where I'm at. And like he said, nobody cares, unless you're, nickel and diming everything. But I work, like, I can actually walk to work.